Okay, I'm happy to be here on the interview for another interview for our monitoring forum together with Loic Moisand from Synthesio. Loic, thank you also to you and your team for supporting us this year and for at our monitoring forum in December. And actually, we're doing this kind of interviews up front also to get to know a little bit more about our partners. So please introduce yourself and Synthesio.
Hi, well, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be part of this. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Synthesio, based in the US. We are a social media listening and analytics company with offices in different regions in Europe, in Asia, and in the United States. And our focus is really to help large brands and agencies to make better sense of the data they're finding on social media and try to tie that data to true business results. That's our mission.
So what are your trending topics at the moment in regards to social media monitoring? Also from your side as a vendor and partner for companies, a solution vendor, and also from the other side, from the customer and the corporate side, what are their issues they are dealing with within their project at the moment?
Well, I think the social media monitoring market has changed a lot in the past 6 years. It's been existing for a long time, but it has changed a lot. I think it's moving from just pure technology and features that really help people monitoring conversations and having nice charts to display on a beautiful dashboard. It's moving from that to really defining value. I think that a lot of people who have been using social media monitoring tools in the past years are kind of disappointed of the results because they still cannot prove any ROI. They still cannot tie the results they are finding on social to true business results. So all of that has created some tension, and I think technologies now have to evolve to make sure they can integrate with other types of platforms, so they can, make social media more like a process, something that is fully integrated into the full view of the customer, rather than just a technology to just track likes, retweets, favorites that don't make a ton of sense for C-level people in any type of organization.
So what are your key drivers for bringing a return of investment in social media monitoring?
Well, I think it's first a company organization issue. We're seeing a lot of programs that are not working because the company itself, the brand itself, or the agency is not totally equipped to make it happen. I think those projects work when you have somebody in the C-level team saying that customer experience is key. The voice of the customer is something that they really want to put at the center of their organization. As long as you have that in place, social media will be one channel. It's not everything, it's not the full voice of the customer, it's one channel. And I think the mission of technologies like Synthesio is to really help providing analytics and metrics that can speak to a CMO, that can speak to a CEO, that can speak to a customer experience people. I can give you a few examples. We spoke for a long time about share of voice, about number of retweets, number of likes. It's not something that is really providing value. I strongly believe in very simple metrics, such as customer satisfaction. So having the ability to track and measure customer satisfaction online is actually something that is extremely useful for large brands. It speaks to a CEO, it speaks to a CMO, much more than the likes and the retweets. It's one example, but you have many other examples. What marketers want to hear is they want to talk about conversions. Why the activity that you have on social media is having an impact on the people coming to your website. Why is it having an impact on the leads that you're getting? So really trying to make the connection between the activities you're running on social and some true sales and business activities that you have on your website. So really, trying to match the customer journey that you have on other channel with what you can find on social.
But also even for providing insights about the customer satisfaction, but also providing insights about the holistic view to the customer journey. Well, is the social media data that we can collect throughout the conversations on the social networks enough to give answers to what is the customer satisfaction?
Well, you would be surprised. It's the volume of data you get on social is growing dramatically every year. And I'm personally convinced that it's going to be the main way for brands to interact with customers. And I think the power of this channel, with because everything is visible, everything can be shared, will make it, I think, the #1 channel for customers to interact with the brand. So in terms of content that you can find online, definitely you can find all sorts of questions, all sorts of even answers to questions you didn't think to ask. So it's really an open forum of discussions of customers really speaking openly. So I think you can find everything. The challenge is to be able to structure all of that. How do you make sure that you know how to segment the people that are talking online? Are we speaking about somebody in Germany? Is that a woman? Is that a man? What are their centers of interest? You need to know all of that to be able to have a clear understanding of the consumer. But for sure, the data does exist. That's a no-brainer.
So the challenge is on the analytics side. So we're moving from just listening and collecting data and reporting about it, and with this low-level metrics like the share of voice, towards a higher level of analytics approach. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a combination. You need both. I think you have the ROI metrics, the metrics that are really tied to business and that can speak to top-level people. That will enable agencies to get more budget. That will enable brands to get more budget for social. And on the other hand, you still need the tactical metrics. You still need the share of voice. You still need the retweets. You still need all of that. But there are tactical metrics that you will use for a campaign, for some very specific actions, but they are not the metrics that you will use to report success to top-level people.
So Synthesio is also branded as a global solutions, and also what you mentioned before, that if we do this analytics, we really have to get the whole understanding about what people are talking to us, whether they're coming from the US, from France, or from Germany, and then we're always in this multi-language challenge of analyzing different languages and the syntax and semantics of different languages. Is this problem already solved? Because in the earlier days of social media monitoring, this was always a big issue.
Yeah, well, it's a good question, and I think so. That's text analytics. You're referring to natural language processing, all of these technologies that enable the machine to understand what people are saying. So I think technologies have made great progress on that perspective. I think that it's still not perfect, and it will never be perfect. So it's really important to understand that to have a great data quality on a project, you need to be able to fine-tune your system to make the system understand that a certain term for your brand can be very negative when it's very positive for another topic. I can give you an example. We work with a lot of sports clubs, and when people are saying on Twitter the team is on fire, it's actually rather positive. It's even a great thing. We also work a lot with car makers, and when the car is on fire, it's not that great. but it's at the end of the day, it's the same term. So you need to really be able to understand the context, and it can come with great technologies, but also with a very strong setup of the tool for your specific project. So, yeah.
So as I mentioned before, Synthesio is supporting us with the social media monitoring forum. What are your expectations for this event?
Well, I think we all have to work together to make the market mature. And I'm seeing in all of the different countries we're working with different levels of maturity, depending on the brands, depending on in the industry. And I think it's really a team effort, I would say, even with the other vendors, even with the other with agencies, with brands, really to make sure that people understand the means to make social media valuable. Because if we continue to track social media the way we've done it in the past years, just building reports and finding trends, something that goes up, goes down, you're not really finding any meaning, and it's not helping the whole industry. So there's really a need, a true need for executives, for agencies, for technologies to understand the maturity model. What are the steps, what are the milestones that you have to go through as a brand to become social media intelligent? And we know those milestones, and I think it's something that has to be, the word has to be spread.
Great. Thank you for the interview.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.